Okay, take it away.
Right, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us for a new year.
Happy New
Yeah,
Year.
Happy New Year. For the panel discussion that we're providing to the community on behalf of SCORE, the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity, as well as HCC. This is our second year in doing this, and we're hoping that people, actually, I'm not hoping, I'm hoping, but also know that people are gaining information, they're learning, they're growing. We've had a lot of feedback. Our last meeting, which was in person at the Meet the Buyer location, which was so successful, a lot of energy, a lot of people showing up down at the convention center. We're looking forward to doing that again this year. So please stay tuned. And, if you're not able to join us live, then you are able to look at the podcast and previous recordings. Yes.
Yeah, you've got 10 on LinkedIn
Okay.
watching now.
Perfect,
So-
perfect.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
You've got friends.
Yeah.
We're not alone.
Dr. Jackson is big on LinkedIn, so yeah,
There you
I
go.
stay connected and watch her feed, so yeah. So this month's topic is evolving the business plan. And it is a repeat of last year, but we should have more to add this year, as well as more feedback from you and questions from our audience that may grow over the hour. Our studio audience, yes. But the idea is that all businesses, all small businesses start out with a business plan, of course, to chart their direction, their hopes and dreams, their vision, their mission statement, all that good stuff wrapped up in one. But this session is about evolving, taking it to the next level. So you've been in business a year or two, maybe 5, 10 years. This is an opportunity to add to it and see what opportunities that you can add to the business plan. My name is Jada Harris. I am a SCORE mentor as well as an entrepreneur here in the city of Houston, providing contract management as well as QuickBooks services to the small business community. I'll let Dr. Jackson introduce herself.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Portia Jackson with the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity, where I am a business development manager, which means that I'm helping folks navigate doing business, not just with the city, but within the city and the city limits, as well as managing the business development programs that the city has for everyone.
And we also have Robbie, say it, Robbie of HCC. Robbie B,
that's
yeah.
right. All right,
Don't get me
everybody.
started.
Robbie Brumble, Houston Community College Director for Student Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Also, very thankful for the partnership with SCORE and the Office of Business Opportunity to be able to provide this great content right here on our HCC campus. And thankful for the opportunity to be able to help inspire and start and grow small businesses in our towns. So it's all thank yous this happy new year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're off to a great start. We welcome questions both from our studio audience as well as from you can enter questions online. So please feel free to ask as many questions as possible. The delivery of this meeting is a panel discussion, which means that it's about communicating, asking all those burning questions. This is not a lecture type where we just tell you and you have to absorb it and walk away. We want to learn from you as well as you learn from us. So again, this topic is evolving the business plan. I do have a PowerPoint, and it's only to spark conversation as to what to expect in this session. I didn't know right. Am I doing wrong?
Let's make sure it's on the PowerPoint.
Okay.
And then you're good to go. Try now.
There we go.
So that- I think you hit the mute. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
It's quicker. by the way. So, okay,
It is a
so-
new clicker.
So we have, Office of Business Opportunity again, HCC, and so evolving the business plan. So, the objective is to help current vendors of the Office of Business Opportunity, as well as, and vendors that are interested in becoming a vendor, understand how they can do business and do business efficiently with the city of Houston, as well as utilizing the resources that all three organizations have for entrepreneurs. As a mentor, as well as an entrepreneur, a teacher here in Houston, it blows my mind how many people are not aware of the resources that are available through SCORE, through the city of Houston, and through HCC, and they're free resources. And so that is part of the reason why I said we must do this. So, and as we move through the presentation, we'll talk more about what those free resources are. Such as SCORE, we provide resources such as a business plan template. So if you don't have a business plan, or you have one and you want to, juice it up, there are templates on our website, on the houston.score.org website, that you can pull down and create a business plan. In addition to doing that, once you pull down the business plan or prior to, you can meet with a mentor that has expertise in the area of your business. So if your business is retail, we have mentors here in the city of Houston, as well as nationwide. SCORE is a nationwide organization where you can reach out to mentors that can speak to you directly about retail and other businesses that you may have. City of Houston, opportunities. So it's great to be in business, right? And and anyone that joined us last year, one of the pet peeves or the things that I usually say is have at least 3 streams of revenue: business to business to clients, of course, and that's all great, but business to government, a lot of people don't think about, and is a great opportunity for you to incorporate a new stream of revenue, as well as increase that stream of revenue. And then of course, HCC, which I have to say, it dawned on me at the beginning of this year that last year we talked about what HCC can do as a introduction, but we didn't really concentrate on it. So this year I hope that we can do that. But HCC has a plethora of free resources, as well as other resources that you can utilize to grow your business. One of which, and Robbie will explain, is employees, free employees to help grow your business. So I'll let him talk about that. But so as we speak about SCORE, on our houston.score.org website, this is what you'll find exactly under the business plan area, where you can find a template for a simplified business plan, a 12-month cash flow. There is the business plan template if you're interested in the Lift Off Houston competition. There is sample step guides on growing your business. So a lot of resources. And again, like I said earlier, there are mentors such as myself that can meet with you at your leisure, at any time that you would like to meet, to discuss how to develop that business plan. We can review it. The only thing that we can't do, because we are a nonprofit, we cannot do work for you. So we can give you all the advice about business plan, but we can't, actually make any changes to the business plan for you. So I think that is very helpful. Any questions before I go further?
Yeah, you've got 3 questions
Okay.
on LinkedIn. Well, it's Brandon asking 3 different questions.
Okay.
He's in digital marketing and digital technology, so he was just asking, how can this conversation, relate to him? He was also asking about how does he become a vendor with the city around digital marketing and digital technologies. I think he is a UX XR, which is AR, augmented reality.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's one of those creatives,
Okay.
and he's looking to see how can he make, those virtual QRs or any of that. And then he's asking, what's the link to become or learn more about becoming a vendor for that particular industry that he is in?
Okay. Well, I'll start with you, Dr.
Well,
Jackson.
That's good,
Potato.
good.
Yeah, so I'll start with you. As far as the city of Houston, and to answer Brandon's question, what is there digital marketing opportunities for the city of Houston as a vendor?
Yes, there are opportunities. I can't tell you if there are some right now because we have a website that keeps track of all of our bidding opportunities. And so it's a lot. So I can't remember all of them, but you can go to purchasing.houston.tx.gov. That website, one, that'll allow you to register as a vendor. You'll see on the top row, about second column, it will say new user, existing user. You click on that and you'll build your vendor profile. And what you really want to do is make sure that you identify what the services or products that your company has. It's going to ask for NIGP codes, and that's what that is. So as many codes that pertain to what you do, you want to make sure you list those. And so that's where you create your vendor profile. Give them about 48 hours business hours to validate and approve you as a vendor, and that's it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just you gotta create your profile and upload a W-9 form, and they do have W-9 forms on that page if you don't have one. And also on that page, purchasing.houstontx.gov, you'll see second row, third column, you'll see search bids, and that's where you can find all of the procurement opportunities. We do them via bids, which means you'll have to search and look for those and whatever, I guess, pertains to your, I was going to say, tickles your fancy, right? Whatever pertains to your business, you want to attend the pre-bid conference there and look at that and how to engage with that. So all that's listed there. That one website will get you to where you need to be, Brandon, and thank you for those questions.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Go ahead.
So for startups, right, people who are just beginning, is there a limit to how long you should have been in business, to do business with?
So there is not a limit in general,
Okay.
but the bids are very specific. So if there's a bid out there, it will tell you if there is, for that particular bid, a requirement for you to be in business for a certain amount of time, it will say that on that particular bid. But all bids are different, all bids have different requirements. But in general, no, to your question.
And Dr. Jackson, do you have to pay to become a vendor or pay for the solicitations or anything that has to do with the city of Houston?
No, to register to be a vendor is at no cost, and you do not have to pay to submit a bid.
Right. So again, free. Okay. So, again, these are opportunities, and I'll go ahead and move to the next slide as we talk about the opportunities. These are opportunities that come far and in between for small businesses if your focus is only on business to business or business to client. But once you get into the contract management or contracting arena, there is plenty of opportunities, not just with the city of Houston, but that's who we're focusing on, but within the city of Houston. So what in the business plan, as we focus on evolving the business plan, now, if you've been in business and you have a business plan, at this point, we're evolving the business plan to include specific details that the city of Houston or contracting agencies are looking for, as well as opportunities for growth. Within your business plan, how can you grow? How can you grow with contracts? How can you grow within your business, digital marketing, for instance, in the case of Brandon? And then also within the business plan, this is your opportunity to provide projections as to what you can do in that specific field. Now, my question for Dr. Jackson is that something that the business Office of Business Opportunity is looking for? Are they looking for a business plan, or within the business plan, are they looking for growth and projection?
So we necessarily are not looking for your business plan, but your business plan needs to exist in order for you to be prepared to do business with the city of Houston. So we're not going to ask you, give me your business plan, but you need to have a business plan evolve the business plan to be able to know how to proceed when you have that opportunity to work, to do business with the city of Houston.
Right. Be ready, be ready, be ready. You never know.
Yeah.
And plenty of times, over my 5 years of being here, there's been opportunities through the city of Houston that have come up, on, we're expecting consistency, right? Like, bids on, landscaping and so on and so forth. But because of changes within the area or within the nation, such as COVID, we've had the city of Houston had to address that. And so those opportunities became available instantly. And so that's why you have to be ready, be ready, be ready. So let me go ahead and include Ravi in the conversation. What can a city of Houston vendor or potential vendor do at the HCC in order to evolve their business plan?
Okay, so actually at the college, we have multiple programs, and I'll leave the link, but for you guys also here, it's hccs.edu, our school website, /small business. We have multiple categories of services we offer under small business, for igniting an idea, for seeding, all the way to growing and even helping nurture and then grow the business. Under the Ignite, we have programs where we'll have workshops. Under our Grow, we have programs where we do the business plan competition at HCC, where you are partnered with a mentor or two, and you go through this practical process where they go through the sections of the business plan with seasoned mentors like SCORE and like other business advisors in the city. It's all free, by the way. There's no cost to you. You just have to commit to meet. And then at the end, if you have really got your business plan ready to go, you could submit it for the competition where the bankers would give you some seed funding for your for the best business plans that semester. So HCC business plan competition, in fact, they're actually the enrollment dates are this week, and they're having an orientation next week. You can come learn more about it. So that's under the growth program, right? Or at least to those who have a little bit more than just an idea. Now they want to get hit the ground running. And maybe some have been in operation, but never actually put that paper together, even a go-to-market, something that that they could use to build a capability statements later for working with you guys, right? So, and then under the growth, right, we have the Minority Business Development Agency and the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. Now, they don't necessarily teach you to put your business plans together, but they absolutely make sure your business plans are, business savvy, full practical, and they also help you build your business acumen, right? Those programs do have an interview process. If you're accepted into the cohort, it's free for that business owner. And they do have requirements in order to be like an MBDA client, you have to have, I believe it was $1 million in revenue or, something there. In order to get into Goldman Sachs program, you have to have $150,000 revenue, 2 or 3 years of operation. And then the business plan competition is open to anybody. I'll give you one more. Sorry, I feel like I'm taking the air here. The third one, which is a recent program, thanks to our friends at Wells Fargo, we have an open for business program intended for women entrepreneurs. That one is also open for any aspiring women entrepreneur. There's a cohort, a community that is working together and helping each other put that business plan together, or guide each other to the resources available in the city, like SCORE and OBO. And those would be like the ones I could say. And I have one more for veterans, but it's not live yet. What we're doing for veterans at HCC is we've got a leadership program where we really go through business leadership program, I should say, where we go through 9 weeks of evening classes with a business coach, retired Navy, former Texas Senator, House of Representative, who walks the veteran or military family member through this, personal and business growth program. That's also offered for free at HCC. Lots of opportunities
Yeah.
to get your business plans in place
Absolutely.
at the college. So
A couple of key things that I heard Robbie say, and it all circles back to the business plan and the free resources that you can utilize in order to develop it. But if you get really good at these pitch competitions, no problem, go on in. If you get really good at these pitch competitions, which you could win anywhere from $500 to $25,000, it's just, if you get really good at it's seed money, like he said, in order to grow your business, but the foundation of it. And I did go through one of these, I went through an incubator here in Houston, where they helped us develop the business plan. That's the key, is the business plan. So if you don't have one, I don't know how many times we have to say business plan in this session here, it's in the title, but
Let me turn the tables on you.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
this is
that's
new,
your
this is new this year, okay.
Right, 2023.
Yeah.
So when you say business plan, what do you mean?
Okay, well, business plan. Now, there's a lot of people that when they hear it, they think, oh my gosh, this is a book I gotta provide to whoever. Generally, the business plan is created for the business itself, for your own purposes. However, if you want investments, if you want to include or to gain money, you need something in order to provide to them so they understand what your business is. That's going to include your vision statement, your mission statement, financial projections. It's going to include the executive summary, which is a summary of what your business is all about. It could be 25 pages, it could be. However, most times it can be a single document of your thoughts in an organized manner to provide as a snapshot to whoever you want to provide it to. So the business plan can be anything that you want it to be, whether it's 1 page to 25 pages, but it should include those thoughts. Your first of all, business title, your name, contact information at the very least, their business, what you hope to do with your business in the future, and the outcome of your business as it relates even to close out, succession plans, legacy plans. A lot of people leave that piece off, and that's okay to leave off initially, but eventually, especially 5 years in, you built something. Now it's time to either sell it, leave it to someone, or provide it as a next step for someone else. Okay, does that answer the question?
Yeah, okay, all right. I just wanted to bring that to light, because a lot of times people hear business plan and it's, used and they're just like, I really don't know what that is. And so you explained it perfectly, and just for people to kind of really grasp it is, you got to get the ideas out of your head, on the paper, because only you know what's up here. Nobody else does. And so when they're asking about your business, yes, you should know how to pitch it 30 seconds probably.
Yes.
But if we ask for something written, that's what we're asking for is, okay, what's in your head? So we can read about your business and know where you're going, who you're targeting. And I think about it, because I used to be a professor, and I tell people a lot of times, I can tell a lot about my students from what you have written, so I know if you know what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
From what you have written down.
Yeah.
And so that business plan is telling everybody what you're talking about.
Right, as well as how much energy, because I've taught too, and how much energy you have for your business. If it's, janky, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. If it's janky, I know for sure you're not interested. This is not something that you really want to do. But if it's laid out, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if it's laid out and it's organized and you have done the research, you connected with people to help you, we know that we, as an investor, this is somebody I want to do business with. As a banker, this is somebody who has their numbers together and, I'm interested in providing a loan to, right? PNC, we have PNC in the building today. So, yeah, and another thing about, and what Dr. Jackson had mentioned is getting it out of your head and on paper, not just for your audience, but for you. I've witnessed as a mentor and even as a business owner myself, once I put it on paper, it makes sense. It makes sense in your head, but then it also makes sense as it's laid out in organized way. Do we have any other questions? Especially since our audience is growing, our studio audience is growing here.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I think it's for Dr. Jackson. Right?
Mhm.
So with OBO, the opportunity, right? I know you said you guys don't necessarily need a business plan,
Right.
but we do need a business plan if you have a business. I get that. Researching, would a business need to be certified to do like a startup? Would they need to be certified or that be minority, women, all that good stuff, maybe the business you guys?
No, you don't have to be certified to do business with the city of Houston, but it
Okay.
does help, especially when you may not have the capacity to take on a full contract,
Okay.
meaning, you don't have the resources to fill out that full contract, but you have some of the resources to provide certain services on the contract. And the contract has a goal on it, which means a goal for certified firms. That's what that certification comes into play, but you do not need to be certified to do business with the city of Houston.
All right, do there be any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, I know, I'm late, sorry. Let's see, if you have a business that, we're like a field ombudsman, like most people have a call center that you call in, but when you can't fix it that way, then you send someone out there like a liaison or ombudsman. But I never see any, bids going out, you know what I mean? Solicitations for something like that, so how do you, I don't know, find your place, how you can, so I can help the city?
So let me just kind of clarify your question, or not clarify, restate your question. So if there is a business that you have or a business idea that you have and you want to do business with the city of Houston, how do you, and there's no opportunities that or solicitations that are out there for that particular area, how do you either develop it or connect to individuals at the city of Houston to find out more?
So that's an easy but kind of a hard question to answer. So the general answer would be is you have to look at the bids, because sometimes a bid might be out for, to use my fruit example, for a farm, right? But you're like, I don't know how to create a farm, but part of that contract is growing apples. So maybe you can grow the apples as part of that contract. So you have to look at contracts that are associated that might utilize your particular service. That's one way. The other way is that sometimes there are just some businesses and services that we might not have a bid out for because maybe our employees already do it. So we don't need to bid for that particular service. But there is a way to do some research for that. And I think that I don't want to steal the future thunder from our shows coming up because we are focused on the business plan, but I can definitely share information on how you can do the research for that.
Yes. No, but please go ahead and share, because we could reiterate and, as far as, doing the research and
Okay.
for future solicitations or.
So again, you're gonna go back to that same website that I mentioned earlier, purchasing.houstontx.gov. And then you'll be able to search for bids, second column, third row. And then you're not gonna put an open status. You're gonna leave that status open, and that will give you the opportunity to look at bids past and present. And so you're gonna put in your key search words for your particular service, and you'll be able to see the pattern of how, when the last time we had a bid for that. And there's also another website, houston.mwdve.com and dve.com, and you'll be able to see the awards of those contracts, and you'll be able to see who actually got those contracts and how much those contracts are. All those go into the research of really finding out, one, yes, you want to diversify your portfolio. Like Jada said, B2B, B2C, B2G, but you also want to be realistic to your business. And so if the opportunity is there for your business, but maybe it doesn't come with the price or the costs or the revenue or the profit that you have, then you want to be able to research that to see if you want to invest your time in going after that particular opportunity, or if that's something you want to let pass, right? Because we can always make money and never make time. Never get that back.
No, absolutely. And like Dr. Jackson alluded to, we will, have an in-depth session about researching contracts and things like that later this year. But we will discuss the different topics throughout all of the meeting dates. But as it relates to contract management, now, of course, this is about being a vendor with the city of Houston, but what it boils down to is contract management and how to manage these, how to look for them, how to get them, how to, once you get them, manage them and then close out. When you're doing the research, it is a process. This is a journey, not a sprint. A lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna just apply for this contract, get this contract, and I'm good to go. And it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of collaboration, a lot of research and relationship. And I think that was our key word last year.
Yeah.
Relationships, building relationships so that you can, not just with the city of Houston, but also with the vendors, the other vendors. So this is something that you have to invest in. So in time, like she said, is one thing that you can't get back and you want to invest in as best as possible. So I'll go ahead and move to the next slide, which HCC and development. Developing yourself as a business, utilizing the business plan as that development piece. How HCC can do that is through the resources that they provide. Of course, this is an education institution, therefore providing you with the research opportunities and then also training. So if there is an area, so you do want to develop a farm, I don't know if they have farming here, that's something you have to look on the HCC website. Robbie is saying yes, but you do want to, you're interested in that, you can get training for it. It may not be free, but you can get it here at HCC. So Robbie, do you want to elaborate on, how to develop yourself as a business owner here at HCC?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, we're a community college, open access. Except anybody, that's college ready. If not, we'll help you get college ready, right? We have a dedicated center of excellence for business, which offers an associate's in business management, a marketing degree, a international business degree. I believe there's a selling degree as well. There's certificates, level 1 certificates that you can get for 6 months, a year time, very quickly build up that business acumen, right? So that's one track is, if you've never gone to school for this, go for it. There are over 140 programs at the HCC. So if you wanted to build a farm, there is a horticulture program somewhere at the Katy campus. HCC operates 70 buildings in town, 70. We happen to be in the Missouri City campus, very nice building here. But one thing the college has is access into the communities. Whether it's Katy, Missouri City, Stafford, the Galleria area, or Northline, or Southeast, right? It covers all across Houston. And these programs are offered very reasonably priced if you go through, our Center for Excellence. We also have continuing education programs, which are priced, according to whatever the industry rates are, but they're likely to be very cost effective.
Yes.
Right, you can learn about drones and cybersecurities and build up a skill set that now you can go build a business around. You can get your certifications, whether it's for project management or so, and start a consulting business, right? So there are a lot of skill building opportunities for you or your employees at a very cost effective, prohibitive, there's nothing that would stop you other than just you not wanting to do it.
Yeah.
There's no you need crazy GMAT scores or SAT scores.
Oh,
None of those nightmares from high school.
You
just have to want to show up, and a lot of financial aid opportunities where you actually are if you qualify, you could get the tuition waived or a portion of that. And some students may even get more to be able to cover cost of books and et cetera. So look, it's small classes, it's convenient, local, 140 programs that includes everything from dancing, drama, art, to the business, economics, marketing, cybersecurity, computer programming, graphic designing, anything you can think of that's available to our community. And HCC does, have 50 to 60,000 students that go through the college. So the last thing is I'll say to, no business plan is complete without the people that are in it, right? So in your executive summary, you're gonna have to talk about what your goals and objectives are. But then also, what qualifies the individuals. So why not hire people that are skilled and talented to build up your business? And so that the college offers as well is a dedicated career services that's free for employers to post positions or even do apprentice, which is when you earlier some of you missed, you could get your apprentice if you are paying prevailing wages to the Texas Workforce Commission. There are programs in which you can get paid interns to work for your business, building up their expertise, but the payment is done through Texas Workforce Commission, where you're not paying for that intern or apprentice working in your business, especially in the high growth areas, cybersecurity, protecting your business assets, and even the other, project management, I believe, is there. So there's lots of opportunities. You just gotta engage with the college, and it is a huge maze. So let me just say, start with me. Let me help you be your pathfinder within, how do we get your goals through the college? But there are lots of resources, lots of training, skill building, certifications, accreditations you could build for at the college. So thanks for the opportunity to say all that.
Absolutely, and I love that what you reiterated about skills. I'm big on gifts and talents that are God-given and all that. I'm big on run after those. You're ingrained. There's so many people that no, I'm not an accountant. I'm gonna go dance but all you do is numbers all day long. I run after your gifts and talents, but why not build on those skills through HCC, where you can add to it through education and encourage your business. And like Robbie said, put it on paper and prove, hey, not only do I have these gifts and talents where I've been doing this since I was 15 years old, but I also attended this HCC program, certificate program, where I have enhanced my skills, or I've onboarded apprentices with the skills necessary to build this business. That's what the business plan allows for you to take it from your head and put it on paper. So now we're going to open this up to questions, whether from our studio audience or from our web online audience. So any questions? So not just about the business plan, any questions that you have about business, about the city of Houston, about HCC, about Houston itself, the new year. Yes,
One
sir.
question. I need to learn Spanish, and I want to pay someone to learn the Spanish. Would we have to go through like a whole course of like to degree type thing, or can we just take one class, or how does it work?
I mean, in my opinion, it's objective. It's a business decision. And how is this going to enhance your business? It may be just one class. It may be one conversation with someone, but it may be a full-fledged degree. I don't know, but.
I mean, what's your goal?
Well, that we have an employee, she's Hispanic, but she was born here. And so when you're looking at contracts and official documents, she didn't have the confidence to write in Spanish and stuff.
So with that, I'd
So
probably,
we just hire somebody.
I would probably hire someone who is proficient in Spanish, because when you're learning a language, it's not just learning the vocabulary. You have to learn the entire culture, and that takes time. And then when you talk about looking at contracts, that's a whole different type of skill set. So maybe that's something you want to hire somebody for, or outsource someone to review that, you know, who's fluent in Spanish. That's what I would suggest. But in general, I would say, I mean, why not take a couple classes?
Especially
Just
you.
to be able to have a conversation, you know, in Spanish, because that can help you as well. And honestly, I think too, no, not that I think, I know, the city of Houston, the public library has online tools for you to learn about over 100 and something languages. So if you're a member of the Houston Public Library, you can go in there, download, they have it app form, and you can, you know, during times where you're waiting, go through whatever language you want to learn or be familiar with. So I would suggest that too, because I honestly think that you're at a deficit if you only speak one language. And myself is totally included.
And the same, you know, I was told just to learn Spanish way before I made the decision to move here, and couldn't figure out why, because I'm from the Midwest, which there's hardly any Latino people there. And so then all of a sudden I'm here in Houston, it's like, oh, that's the reason why I needed to learn Spanish. But another thing that you mentioned in 2022, towards the tail end, and I harped on the 3 streams of income: business to business, business to client, business to government, but also business to global. I think it was the term that you, so that's another thought. As far as the business plan, how are you gonna go global? Especially if we're talking about digital marketing, it would be a myth, a fallacy, if you didn't include how you can do business globally in this day and age. Now, if you're a retailer should be global too. If you're a farmer, maybe you may not have a global reach, but right.
Think about HEB.
Yeah.
Those pineapples come from Costa Rica.
You know, absolutely, absolutely. Don't get me started on HCC. I spent way too much money there, but but food, and especially the fruit, is wonderful. But anyway, I get sidetracked. Sorry, but Robbie, your response to that question?
Yeah, and you know, I think I caught his question as, does he have to, you know, if him or his employee, do they have to go through a full 2-year, 3-year program? The cool thing about the college is now, and it doesn't have to be HCC, it could be Lone Star or San Jac, any community college, is in Texas, they're allowing like something called level 1s, right? Where these are smaller, stackable classes you can take, build up, and if you like it, continue, and you could, before you know it, you have an associate degree in bilingual speaking or Spanish. Or the college does have language and arts department. They do. I know one of our biggest programs is actually ESL, to learn English. We get thousands of people coming in to learn. So it's really up to you and you know, your employees. If that skill you need, HCC does offer it. Any community college offers, and again, the prices are very reasonable. It's like an a la carte. You take what you want, and if it's working, it's helping you meet your goals, then keep doing it and get better and better at it. In fact, if you really enjoy it, then there are 4-year programs like University of Houston, right? And then you can even go into masters, right? So we always say you can never go wrong investing in your education.
Never.
No one can take your education
I was
away
just
from you.
about to say that. No one. That's the one thing that people can't take from you, or the 2 things: your name and your education.
They can
Everything
take your
else-
name today. Yeah, identity theft.
Yeah, well, this is true. That's a good point. That's a good
But
point.
not what you know.
Yeah, that's not what yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ravi, you mentioned something about the program called Grow, right?
Yeah,
It's a, you said 9 weeks program?
so so we have services where we categorize them as seed, grow, nurture and grow. Are you referring to the veterans program, the leadership
No,
program?
no,
Okay.
no. So when you were speaking, you said something about think maybe, I think he called it grow. I don't know the details about it.
Yeah, under the growth program, we would have the business plan competition. The Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses program.
Okay.
There are flyers, lucky for you, you're a studio audience, there's flyers, that has the contact information of the directors and the dates. These are, every semester we offer these, opportunities. So, those again, if the business plan competition there, you would submit your application, it's mainly about commitment, is your idea, well thought out, are you committed to go through it? And if they call you, they interview you, if it sounds like you're good to go, they have seats for you, you're in the program, you just have to come to all of the evening classes they offer. You're paired with a mentor that keeps you accountable, or two mentors, depending on, you can even bring your co-founder to sit in on those classes. And usually there's, snacks as well provided, because these are evening sessions. And you're putting together,
Apologize. They're gonna come to water in about 15 minutes,
okay,
so if you didn't use restroom or whatever, then you not gonna 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right?
thank you. House rules.
Yeah.
But so like that business plan competition is a great way of forcing yourself to put your ideas on paper, and you're not doing it alone. You've got a hand holding, partner who walks you through, who's done this before, right? A lot of the business plan advisors are SCORE mentors that are retired business professionals that have done this in some capacity, and they're volunteering their time. The Goldman Sachs program is a little bit more rigorous, but if you're part of the Goldman Sachs cohort, there are almost 1,000 Houston region Goldman Sachs alums. Almost every single one of them have thrived in their business after the program. I think the stat is 96% of them are still in business and operation.
Leaps and
since-
bounds. I mean, once you go through that program, your business almost, I want to just say conservatively doubles. But I've heard people where it's quadrupled. Yeah.
I think it's just locking a bunch of entrepreneurs
Yeah.
together in a room till they figure out to work together.
Yeah. And-
I think that's
and-
what it is.
And then also looking at fears or opposition in a different light,
Yeah.
because you think, oh, this is only happening to me, but then when you hear about other
Mhm.
business owners sharing the same experiences, it helps you to move forward. Also, these competitions help you to be goal centered. And so, paying a carrot of 25,000 to get this business plan done, hey, let's get it done rather, and you think, you go into business, you should be ready to do a business plan, but a lot of times, and I've experienced this, you go into business out of desperation. I was laid off and I went into business. Well, I went full-fledged into my business. Didn't have time to write a business plan, but it took going through a cohort, through a competition in order for me to put it on paper. Even though I had a business that was working, it wasn't thriving. That's what that program did for me, and what HCC can do for you, SCORE can do for you, and the opportunities that the business, City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunities can do for you.
And ironically, these programs that we talk about, they all have some type of plan that you have to complete at the end for you to graduate from that program. And so when we talk about the business plan, I don't want anyone to be like, how people are about math, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
God.
yes, I get it all
But,
the time.
With the plan, it's really just, what am I doing? And how am I gonna get there? So as we watch TVs and movies, when you write a script, you don't start from the very beginning. You have the end in mind, and then you write towards the end.
Yes.
And so that's what you're doing, is just saying, this is what I want to do. So how am I going to get there? And it helps to, like we've already said before, to write this out, because then you can say, just like some of the conversations we've been having here, maybe we get into a business development program to help me with this particular skill.
Right.
And I want to piggyback on something earlier when Robbie had mentioned the different resources and like resumes and the workforce, and your plan is also, you have employees, they gotta know what's going on too. You just can't have it in your mind like, we're doing this. We need to be led, you gotta let them know where you're going. But even when you're applying for certification, you have to prove that whoever's running that organization has a resume to be able to do that. So you want to start thinking about if I have this business, and sometimes people have businesses that they necessarily don't have the skill set to lead, but you can develop those skills to
Yes.
do it. So if you know, I'm going to be in farming, but maybe I don't know.
About irrigation
Right. So
or.
let me take some classes to
Exactly.
be able to qualify for that, or for me to understand that.
Mhm.
You don't have to sometimes when you own something, know it piece by piece by piece, but you do have to know something about it. You can always hire the people who are the experts in there. So I really enjoy this conversation about building, because when we talk about the end in mind and being a city vendor and getting on contracts, it starts from how are you building an organization now? Because city contracts are not like the cheese they used to hand out.
No,
And so
no.
if we want somebody to build roads, if you've never built a road, do we owe it to our taxpayers to hire somebody who's never built a road?
Right.
Right? You gotta have your business intact in order to be able to handle these contracts in the long run. So that's what this whole conversation is about, is building, or starting from building your business plan, or if you already have your business plan or been in business for a while, let's get that on paper and how we're going to evolve, what we need to do to get to our ultimate goal.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a follow-up question. So you talk about if the city of Houston has a project or a contract about building a road, how do you hire somebody who, let's say the business is new,
Mhm,
the person that owns the business has been in construction for a long time,
mhm.
but the city of Houston is gonna look at, I guess that's where the resume comes in, right? The city of Houston is gonna look at the business, maybe, hey, we've done business with you before. Why we're gonna give you this contract, right?
Right.
So how does a startup company venture into such?
So we go back to that bidding, that contract, that opportunity, that scope of work is gonna have, what is needed. And so if your company, if we're asking again for you to build a farm and you've never built a farm before, are we gonna, when you're working on if you have something on your house and you need a plumber, if the plumber has never done plumbing before, are you gonna hire the plumber? No, but maybe that person who is getting into plumbing may have some experience in doing something else. So the plumber may subcontract out that work for that expertise that person has. And so you're able to handle the full contract. And so going back to your question, that contract, that opportunity is going to have, that bid is going to have all the requirements that's needed in order for someone to be considered to do that job. You're competing with people not only in the city, not only in the state, you're competing with people throughout the world for city contracts,
I
right?
get that.
So with that, you're looking at the bid. And if you can viably say, oh, I qualify for this bid and I meet all the requirements, then go ahead and bid for it, because it's done on points for different types of things. Have there been people, we even had at Meet the Buyer, we had someone who was in business for less than a year and he got his first contract with the city as a prime contract, he's a sole contractor. So is there opportunities for startups to work on full contracts with the city? Yes. So, but I don't want people to think that I'm going to get a contract to build a farm and I've never built a farm before. That's not gonna work.
Let's get to your ideology of the plumber at the house, okay?
Mhm.
The plumber started a new business. He's been a plumber all his life,
Mhm,
right? But now he has his own gig,
mhm.
and now how does he get in to do work in your house under his new business as a plumber?
I'm gonna take quotes.
Yeah, it's gonna be I think the city of Houston's best price, right?
Depending
That's-
on the
Lowest
particular contract.
Yeah, lowest bid.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you're gonna want to collaborate and build a relationship with a prime, an existing prime, and become a subcontractor. So those are two ways that it would gain a contract as a new contractor. Having that experience on paper, that resume, because that adds to it, it's better than someone who just picked up a plunger and said, I'm a
Right.
plumber,
And I say that because there are people
Yes.
who have never done.
Oh,
anything,
yeah.
And I want to
Yeah,
contract.
oh my
because
gosh, it blows my
that,
mind.
But, again, that entire bid is gonna have the requirements that's necessary for it. So if it requires somebody to be in business for a certain amount of time and you haven't met that requirement, then subcontracting is your avenue to get into that.
Another key, as a contract manager, what I suggest for people that are trying to get into contracting. Find a contract that's related to you. If you don't have the experience or the resources, because you gotta have resources, you gotta be able to pay your employees, you're not ready yet. Pull a contract and use that as your guide as you develop your resources. Because a lot of people say, okay, I have this farming business, but I didn't know I needed a drill. I didn't know I needed, shovels. I didn't know I needed this. But that contract is going to tell you, you need shovels, you need drills, you need 5 employees, you need to pay them on a even playing field, or what is it, wage? Prevailing wage. There's all things that you need to have a system like QuickBooks in order to manage your contract. It's going to outline all those things for you. So you can use that, and whether it takes you 6 months, 2 years, 5 years to develop that, that's what you use. And usually I say, it's great if the city of Houston is your goal, that's who you want to do business with. But I say, take one from the federal government, because they are the top tier. Everything else trickles down. So everything the city of Houston is requiring, you better believe that the federal government is requiring. So if you're doing the top tier, by the time you apply for the city of Houston, you're golden. So it's some strategies. Again, this is a journey.
Right.
This is not a sprint. Okay. Do we have any more questions? We are over time, but do we have any more questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, we do have a question on the Facebook group that we have. I shared some resources. So the question was, what were the resources in the city? And you mentioned competitions, Dr. Jackson. I mentioned just one, the HCC business plan competition, right? But there is, U of H Shore, which I'll put the link to, which is a really good one
Yeah,
as well.
That's the program I mentioned I went through.
That you went to, yes. So that's one. Lift Up Houston, right? That's another one that's happening. And I believe the ION, which is this sort of an incubator in town, in Midtown, they're also starting to do these open pitch nights, and they're also leading people through like winning the grant. But these are all community resources that you can go to build up your, use those as an excuse to build up your business plans or your go-to-market plans, and practice, get your foot in the door. I think you guys both said about relationships. These are great ways to network with people. And maybe you don't do this alone. Maybe you find a like-minded programmer and then put the software bid or apply for the software bid, or what have you. So I just wanted to throw out those that I know of, Lift Fund, U of H Shore, HCC Business Plan Competition. Do you know any that I missed? I know there was Mass Challenge and others, but those are a little bit more.
Main
Yeah.
ones, but yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't. Yeah, there's always more.
Competitions, entrepreneurship competitions in Houston. Again, this is a global, situation here. So don't be afraid to apply for some that are in another state, or, because the thing is to get the practice under your belt.
Yeah.
And then also reach out to SCORE. Again, we're a national organization. We provide those resources on our website, on the houston.score.org website. So Lift Off Houston's on there. Shore program is on there. Anywhere that we mentor is going to be. We mentor at the ION, the Cannon, at Greentown Labs. I've mentored at all 3 of those. So, those are great incubators for small businesses. We do want to thank you and provide you with our contact information. So our email as well is listed above. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us by email. And we thank you for joining us today. We're going to be back next month, believe it or not. The first Thursday of every month, we meet here. I believe the next topic is,
I've got a slide that I'm gonna put up.
Okay.
I didn't make the slide now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it,
okay.
but I've shared it on the live stream, and I'll make sure you guys all see it too. Bookkeeping basics.
Yes.
On February 2nd.
Yes.
So every first Thursday
Of the month. So we're trying to think like you think. As entrepreneurs ourselves, we can think like you. And so it's tax season. we're in the thick of it already, and it's only what, the 6th, the 5th, whatever day it is of January, and we're in the thick of it already. So bookkeeping, if you don't have that in order, by February 2nd, I'm worried for you. So please join us so that we can give you some advice and some information. Last year, we had a CPA join us who could answer your questions about taxes and all that good stuff. Thank you, Robbie. And so, oh, perfecto, yes. Please join us whether in person, live studio audience, or online. And again, please reach out to us by email, and we hope to